1. You're not as free as you think. You believe you're making your own choices. You choose your job, your relationships, your goals. But what if some of those choices were shaped long before you became aware of them? Pursued, or the people you're drawn to, were influenced by early experiences, by what made you feel safe, accepted, or validated. These patterns often run quietly beneath the surface, guiding us without our knowledge. It's not about blame, about awareness. True freedom doesn't begin with control. It begins with understanding what's been influencing you all along. Without that, choice is just repetition. 2. The real prison is unconscious. Many people seek freedom in external ways, changing jobs, moving cities, or pursuing new goals. But real limitation often isn't outside of us. It's inside-rooted, in patterns we've never questioned and beliefs we've silently accepted. When you live without self-awareness, you're not making choices, you're reacting based on old conditioning. This isn't about judgment. It's about clarity. The most subtle limitations are the ones we don't realize we're following. True freedom isn't about doing anything you want. It's about knowing why you want it. Without that awareness, we stay caught in the same loops, thinking we're moving forward and we're just repeating. 3. The mask you forgot you're wearing. As we grow, we learn to adjust ourselves, smiling when we're unsure, agreeing to things we don't want, softening our opinions to avoid tension. Over time, these small changes become habits, and the version of ourselves we present to the world becomes a carefully shaped mask. At first, it feels useful. It helps us fit in, feel safe, and be liked. But slowly, we can forget we're even wearing it. We begin to believe that version is who we truly are. Self-awareness begins with noticing this pattern, not to criticize it, but to gently ask, is this really me? Or just familiar for? Peace isn't earned through self-betrayal at times. What we call peace is simply the absence of conflict. We go along with what others expect. We avoid difficult conversations, and we keep parts of ourselves hidden to maintain harmony. Over time, that habit can feel like combat. It's often just a form of relief, a quiet that comes from avoiding discomfort, not resolving it. Real peace doesn't ask you to shrink or to hide who you are. It doesn't come from saying yes when you mean no. It comes from being in alignment with your values, your truth, and the version of yourself that feels honest, not edited. 5. The shadow holds what you've repressed. We all have parts of ourselves. We've learned to set aside emotions we were told not to show, thoughts we felt we couldn't express, needs we believed were too much. Over time, those parts don't disappear. They simply move out of sight. Carl Jung called this the shadow, not something bad, but something hidden. It holds pieces of us we didn't know how to include. This isn't about fixing or judging yourself. It's about becoming more whole. When we acknowledge what we've pushed away, we don't become less. We become more aware, more grounded, and more connected to who we really are. 6. Patterns. Don't repeat by accident, have you? Ever notice the same types of challenges showing up again and again? Similar relationship dynamics, recurring doubts, familiar frustrations? These patterns aren't just coincidences. Often they reflect deeper emotional themes we haven't fully explored. It's not about blame or something being wrong with you. It's about becoming aware of what's been guiding your responses beneath the surface. When old emotional experiences remain unprocessed, they can quietly influence the present. Recognizing this isn't negative, it's empowering. Because once you see the pattern, you can begin to shift it. And with that awareness, new choices become possible, ones that align more with who you are today. 7. Self-knowledge. Begins with discomfort. Getting to know yourself on a deeper level often starts with moments that feel uncomfortable. It's easy to explore the parts of ourselves that feel polished or easy to share. But real self-awareness includes noticing the thoughts and feelings we tend to avoid. This process doesn't mean something is wrong. It simply means you're beginning to look more honestly at your inner world. Growth isn't always immediate or easy, but it's meaningful. When you allow yourself to be curious instead of critical, those moments of discomfort become the doorway to clarity, understanding, and a stronger connection to your authentic self. 8. Wholeness over perfection. We often strive to be seen as capable, composed, or put together, but in that effort, we can lose touch with what it means to be whole. Wholeness doesn't mean always getting it right. It means being honest with yourself, even when things feel uncertain. It includes your strengths and your struggles, your confidence and your doubts. True growth comes not from polishing every part of yourself, but from accepting all of who you are. When you let go of the pressure to be perfect, you create space for something deeper, a sense of self that feels genuine, steady, and complete. 9. True love requires being seen its natural, to want connection, to be cared for, and to feel understood. But real connection requires honesty. If you only show the parts of yourself you think others will accept, the connection you receive may not feel fulfilling because deep down, you know it's not fully based on who you really are. Being seen doesn't mean sharing everything all at once. It means allowing space for your genuine self to come forward, even in small ways. When you're honest with yourself and others, the relationships that remain tend to be more grounded, more supportive, and much more meaningful. 10. Awareness unlocks choice. Real change doesn't begin with doing something different. It begins with seeing something clearly. Many of our habits and responses run on autopilot, shaped by past experiences we've never fully explored. But the moment you become aware of a pattern, you create space for a new choice. Awareness doesn't instantly fix everything, but it gives you the ability to pause, reflect, and ask yourself, is this still true for me? From that place, your decisions become more intentional. You're no longer just reacting, you're responding with clarity. And over time, those small moments of awareness lead to more freedom and authenticity. 11. Integration is the goal. Goal of inner work isn't to eliminate difficult emotions or parts of yourself, it's to understand and integrate them. Integration means recognizing that all of your experiences, even the uncomfortable ones, have shaped you. Instead of pushing parts of yourself away, you learn to make space for them with compassion and curiosity. This process doesn't mean you lose control, it means you gain clarity. When you stop resisting your inner world and start listening to it, you become more grounded, more present, and more balanced. Growth isn't about becoming someone new. It's about reconnecting with who you already are, fully. 12. The real you is never missing sometimes. It can feel like you've lost touch with who you really are, buried beneath responsibilities, expectations, or roles you've had to play. But the truth is, your authentic self isn't gone. It's still there, just quiet, covered perhaps by years of adapting and adjusting. Rediscovering yourself isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the person you were before you learned to hide. Through reflection and honest self-exploration, that version of you slowly re-emerges. It's not dramatic or instant. It's steady, subtle, and real. The journey back to yourself is not a search, it's a remembering. 13. Wholeness is the foundation of freedom. We often think of freedom as something external, more options, fewer limits, a different environment. But lasting freedom starts within. It comes from understanding yourself deeply, accepting what you find, and no longer needing to hide or perform. Wholeness means being in touch with all parts of who you are, not just the ones that feel easy or comfortable. When you stop avoiding your inner experience and begin to live from a place of honesty and alignment, your choices become clearer. You're not driven by fear or approval. You're guided by awareness. And that quiet inner clarity is what real freedom feels like.